I'll be talking about the data pre-processing that has been done on a dataset. We had a crime data from the year 2022 to present of Los Angeles. We used pandas to do all the pre-processing. We first read the CSV file using the pandas function. After which we got some details about the dataset like the number of rows and columns and the column names itself. Once we got this, we found out all the columns which had more than at least one null value. Once we found this, we then checked all the columns which have more than around 40% null values. Once we found this data, we decided to remove these four, that is crime code 2, 3, 4, and cross tree, as these fields were not required for any of the visualizations. We kept weapon description and weapons use CD because we believe that these columns would be useful for some of our visualizations. After removing the columns, we then made a new CSV file, which was then used for all our visualizations. The major columns that we have used for visualizations are date of occurrence, time of occurrence, area name, crime code description, victim sex, victim descent, weapon description, status description, and the latitude and longitude details.
Hello, I'm Kaushik, and my task is to analyze how and when the crimes happened in Los Angeles. The first visualization is a line chart that represents the monthly distribution of crimes across different years. What's striking is that the consistency across all months in a particular year, we observe minimal variation in the number of reported crimes, suggesting a stable pattern in monthly crime levels. Now let's delve into the different types of crimes committed. This pie chart showcases the distribution of crimes among various categories. One category that stands out as the most prevalent is the crime vehicle stolen, followed by simple assault, vandalism, felony, and burglary. The other crimes contribute almost the same number of crimes to the total number of crimes. Building on the understanding of crime categories, this tag bar chart explores how different crime categories distribute across months. The consistent trend across months reinforces what we observed in the pie chart, highlighting a stable distribution of crime types throughout the year. This visualization focuses on the weapons used in crimes. One type that dominates is the strong arm, followed by others showing the most commonly involved weapons. The other weapons which are significantly contributing are the verbal threat and handgun. Building on our understanding of weapons involved in crimes, this tag bar chart explores the distribution of different weapon types across months. Just like the pie chart, one type consistently leads the way, indicating a stable pattern of weapon involvement throughout the year. Lastly, we have a stack bar chart that breaks down crime categories by time intervals during the day. This chart provides valuable insights into when various types of crimes tend to occur. We can see that the most number of crimes happen during the evening of the day, that is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And in general, the number of crimes that happen from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. are more in number than the other time intervals.
Hi, I'm Vikas, and I was in charge of creating the visualizations to accomplish task 2, which is to analyze how the victim's sex and descent plays a role in the crimes committed against them and find any relation between the two victim demographics. So I first started out by plotting this pie chart, which shows the share of crimes against the different races of victims that are present in Los Angeles. The second pie chart shows the share of crimes committed against victims of the two different sexes in Los Angeles. And this third chart shows the total number of crimes committed in the different crime categories and also stacks the different races to show how many crimes of a particular type are committed against each race and in total. This is similar to the previous chart where it is stacked with sex instead of race. And finally, this chart was done to show if there is any relation by plotting the total crimes against the different sexes stacked with the different races. The inferences that could be made for task 2 were that there are maximum number of crimes committed against Hispanics, followed by whites, followed by blacks, followed by other Asian, and then followed by Asian among the different races in Los Angeles. For sex, we could see that there are more crimes committed against males than females. For the type of crime committed against the different races, we could see that they follow the trend of the total crimes that we just saw in the pie chart. However, there are some anomalies, such as a majority of the victims of child abuse being Hispanic, a majority of the victims of theft being white. Similarly, for sex, it again follows the pattern very similar to that seen in the pie chart, again with certain exceptions, such as majority of the victims of assault being male, a majority of the victims of sex-related crimes being female. For the final visualization, we can see that there are fairly a similar number of Hispanic male and Hispanic female victims. However, there is another interesting fact here that there are more white male victims than female white victims, and contrarily, there are more female black victims as compared to male black victims.
I'll be talking about a third task, that is analyzing the correlation between crime rates and specific geographical areas in Los Angeles, while also investigating the connection between these locations and the types of victims affected. Now we will be going on to see the visualizations where we can see that the different areas have been marked using circles, where the size of the circle is determined by the number of crimes that have occurred in that region. As we can see in the certain region of Los Angeles, there are more circles with larger radius, indicating that there are more crimes in the certain half of Los Angeles compared to the northern half of Los Angeles. Now we move on to the multi-line chart representation of the crimes versus the area name. As we can see, we have for each year we have drawn a line chart which shows the number of crimes that have occurred in different areas of Los Angeles. From this, we can see that from the year 2020 to 2022, there has been a slight increase in the crimes, with 2022 having a larger spike in the number of crimes. This can be related to the laying off of COVID-19 restrictions, which allow for more free movement of people, which hence increase the number of crimes. Now we move on to seeing the area-wise crimes versus the victim sex. From this visualization, we use the stacked bar graph where we can see that for most of the areas, the crimes have been distributed pretty evenly between the different males and females. There are a few regions where there are more male victims compared to female victims, like Central, Northern Hollywood, and West Valley. Now, if we, then we'll move on to the area-wise crimes versus race. This is also, for this visualization also, we use a stacked bar graph where we can see that in the left half they are the regions are mostly present in the northern half of Los Angeles, where we can see that more Hispanic and white people have been victims of crimes. But then as we move on to the certain region, southern regions of Los Angeles, we can see that significant share of black people are also victims of crimes. And then finally, we look at the area-wise status of crime, area-wise visualization of crimes versus the status of a crime. From this, we can see that the red region is significant. The red region indicates that the crimes are still under investigation, which shows that the majority of the crimes in almost all the regions are still under investigation, with a very small portion of crimes actually being solved.